Hey guys, how you going? It's Dino from Budget DIY. In this video, I'll be installing this diesel heater from eBay. Now guys, if you haven't seen the first part of this, is when I actually got this. I set it up to check that it worked. Yeah, quite impressed with it. This is an installation and this is how I did it. It will be detailed, so this will be quite a lengthy video. I'll try and do every detail, every step that I did to install this heater. Okay guys, keep watching. Okay guys, after moving everything around so many times, I've checked out all my options for my heater, and my logical place is there. I wanted to put it in there, but I've got a water tank underneath. There's a water tank under here, and there's a water tank over there. Don't have a place, but the cupboard has been taken out on this side of the van, and the whole bed closes down. I'll just build in a little enclosure in here. This is only used for storage. I'll close the bed down. So actually the air vent, I'll get it to vent here. I think it's my only option, guys. I've looked at all my options. And my fuel tank will have to go there. I just don't have anywhere else for it. So it shouldn't look too bad there. Behind the, it fits nicely in there behind the tyre. I think that's my logical spot. And I'll only have a short run, so my fuel tank's between the tyre and the chassis there, so my fuel line only has to come down and just over to here. So it should be nice, easy install just here. That's my only option, guys. It just won't fit anywhere else. They're the only options. So it'd be good to go there, but that's the wall of the bed, so I just can't get the unit itself to sit inside the van. It's just wherever I go, there's some sort of obstruction. You have to just work it out, watch out you don't hit any pipes, water tanks, parts of your chassis rail. You have to take that all into account when you plan it out. But anyway, that's my spot at the moment, but that might change yet. That's probably about there on the floor. So it'll be under the bed there. But like I said, the vent will come out up the side there. I'll vent it up there. Lift the bed up. It's my only option, guys, and I'll keep it to the back of the van, and I'll build a partition wall there so nothing can get up against it. And if I have to service it at all, it's easy to get to. My first spot was here. I had a spot worked out there, but I had issues mounting the fuel tank. It was too far. The time you had it right at the back of the van to come right up the front, I don't think I would have enough fuel line. And also, if I have to replace the batteries, I have to take the heater out to replace my batteries, so that's not a good idea as well. So guys, that's a few things to take into account when you look for a spot. So this is actually under the bed. Okay, I'll get up, give you an idea. Okay, that's what we're up for. I have a chassis rail approximately here, so that will work good. So guys, in the van, this will be going through the floor. Okay, so this is the unit. So picture that, so that's on its side now, so picture that up that way, that there, we're going through the floor, right? So we have cabling, my remote control unit, okay, I'll just put this bed down so you can see. So before you're going around doing anything, just check. So there's my remote. Yeah, the remote's probably there somewhere, guys. So I'm saying check it all out before you do anything. Okay, the vent's going to go there. That'll be the vent. Let's say there. The ducting will go up there. So I'll get that vent in first, and that'll determine where I put this heater. I'll use the full length of the ducting. So oh geez, this is, I haven't got much room here, but okay, I don't have a big enough hole saw, guys, so I'm going to have to hole saw out bit by bit. Okay, I'll get the vacuum cleaner, give it a bit of a clean up so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, there's the closer look there. There's the vent for the heat. Okay guys, I need one of them, mounting plate. Put your ducting on. Okay, I'm going to cheat and use the drill. Okay, she's on. You put a couple of little screws in there to hold that down, and then there goes that goes on top. But I'll screw that down later. Okay guys, so you put your screws in here. Okay guys, that's the heater with the unit out. Okay, so it goes like that. Okay, so you turn that over, now you pitch that on the ground. Okay, this is where it's going to go. Put that in place. So you want it to say there. You can see that on the camera. So say about there. That should be fine. Okay. Let's say we put that there. Okay, I'm going to get a pencil. Okay, there it is there. So mount there. So this is where we mount it down. We mount it down here. So you can just cut out, if you want to cut out one big hole here, you can. Okay. But I might get the hole saw, and I might just do 2 holes. I'm just going to drill a hole to make sure. Okay, let's say I'm going to drill a hole there. Right, so drill your hole. Okay, after you drilled your hole, guys, okay, it's pretty obvious. I'm not going to hit nothing. Make sure there are no pipes, especially gas lines, wiring, water tanks, plumbing, anything, guys. Just be very, very careful. Do a very small pilot hole like I've done here. Okay, and as you see, I've got at least 120mm clearance either side of that hole. And I've got plenty of clearance, guys, so pretty safe to keep going. Okay guys, there's my hole saw. Looks a bit scary, doesn't it? Big hole in the floor in your van. Okay, get your cables through. I've got a bit of Get the tubing there or something, a grommet there, just so it doesn't chafe the wires. The earth goes out. So that's out, the earth's out. And we need the fuel pump wire, because that's outside. Okay, this is the fuel pump wire, guys. It goes to the dowsing pump, fuel pump, call it what you like. Usually hope that goes through that hole. Yep, just put it on an angle, she comes through, so that goes through as well. Right guys, so you get your power wire through, get your pump wire through. I'll just drop them outside. They go outside. Maybe there. Okay guys, it's got to get some split tubing to put there. I've put a bit of split tubing there. Now your power wires and the fuel pump wire must go down underneath the floor. Okay, this plugs into the heater, and the other one, that one is for the control panel. Righto, so what we do, okay guys, that goes on like that. Put it in frame there. Put the 4 nuts on. Okay guys, these are 10mm. They're 10mm spanner. Tighten them up. Okay guys, so here goes the exhaust. Got the tubing again. Okay, attach your exhaust. Now we attach the air intake. That leaves us the fuel left, which is on this little spot here. Okay guys, these are your fuel line connectors. So use one of these. You got to put a hose clamp on each end. Push it on. Hey guys, you got the fuel clamp. Attach that. Okay, now guys, here's the fuel line. You can probably just get a matchstick in that hole. It's a very, very small hole. Okay, so when you actually got to cut this, get a knife and actually slice it. Don't use a pair of side cutters, because what will happen, if you get a pair of side cutters, it'll crimp the hose closed. And yeah, so get a knife and actually just cut it with a sharp Stanley knife. So don't use side cutters to cut this. I'll drop that down the hole. Okay, you clamp on. Put your fuel line in. Clamp her up. Okay. Right guys. Okay, your fuel line down the hole, your positive, your negative, and your fuel pump wire goes down the hole, your air intake and your exhaust. So we're going to turn this upside down and it's all going to go down the hole. Okay, so I'll show you all the wires there. So there's all the wires down the hole. Just got to make sure the hole's big enough to go around that. Just got to make sure you get all that in your floor there. I hope my hole's big enough, but we're about to find out. Okay, I'm going to poke a few things down the hole now. Take that off now. Okay guys, exhaust down. It's all down. almost done inside the van. Put that on there. So we fasten that. So that's fastened up. Alright. Okay guys, these are the screws they supplied to screw down to the floor. I'm just going to use some Phillips head screws and a bit smaller. They're a little bit too long, so I'm going to just swap them over. So guys, I'm just use a screw that size, just screw the plate down. So now I'll just screw it down. So the work's done up the top here. We have one more connection up here, and that's for the remote or the controller. Okay guys, I've got to put a bracket on here for the fuel pump. So I just need to put this on. Okay guys, fuel pump's going on. Now I'm going to route this fuel line from the diesel heater to here, so I'll do that. Yeah, make sure you've got plenty of clearance around that exhaust pipe, because that burns extremely hot, guys. Okay guys, in the bench test I did, I mentioned about the intake silencer. Now, you should have a filter on this, especially, like, I'm not going to be in dusty conditions. It's mainly, if you're going to remote outback travel or you're in dusty conditions, you probably want to get like one of them little motorbike filters. You can buy them on eBay, the little filters. They're a fine filter, but them holes there, now, little insects could get in there. So if this sucks in one of them little insects, it could block up inside the combustion port. It could stop the air getting in there. So I'm going to put a bit of fly screen. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the end off, and I'm going to make my own filter just to stop little insects getting in there, getting sucked in. It's just a precaution, guys. Yeah, just don't want a insect getting in there, because through them holes you'll definitely get something in there. Okay guys, I'm going to put the filter on. So I use the existing hose clamp that was meant for the T-piece and that vent tube that I'm not using, so I use that existing hose clamp. I've got a piece of fly screen, and you're not restricting the air, guys, and you're just not letting the insects in there. If you go into dusty conditions, like I said, you probably want to get a proper, like a motorbike air filter, something with that size outlet on it, or you can just get reducers, get something. I was going to get something from Bunnings, but what it was going to cost would have been just cheap to buy a proper filter for it. But I thought I'll just chuck this on at home for now. Okay guys, that's the air intake on. Okay guys, one of these hose clamps on the silencer for the exhaust. Let's put one of those saddles on it to hold the exhaust there, and it can just protrude out the back of the van. Okay guys, that's the exhaust. Okay, now I'll tidy up the fuel line. So guys, the exhaust, make sure nothing's against it, so tie the fuel line and everything else away from the exhaust. Make sure the exhaust is clear. Okay, so I'll just tidy that up later. I'll put a cable tie around that. Now I've just got to run the fuel line through. Okay guys, she runs around to here. I'll need to cut this line. So just cut him so it's a clean cut. Tighten him up. Put the clip on for the fuel pump. A 45-degree angle. And then tighten so now all that's left me to do, I've got to do the fuel tank and I've got to connect the power. So all I've got to do is disconnect this fuel line from here, and I've just got to run new fuel line. I've got plenty left from here up to the tank. It's not that far, but I'll do the tank now. Okay, I've got to make up a bracket. Check she fits, and that'll probably do the job. Okay guys, I've got to fit the fitting in the bottom, so I'll go up to the shed and do it. Okay guys, these fuel tanks, they're both, you can have them either side. So if you need the filler on that side, that's your point of, that's where you put your drain hose in for the tank. If you want the open, so if you need the tank that way, there's your drain point there for the tank. So in my case, I need it that way. Your fitting is in the tank. So they mount the tank. So all I have is a bolt and 2 O-rings. So I would say 1 O-ring would go on the inside of the tank, and 1 would go, put it through into your tank, and then put the bolt on the bottom. So we need a piece of wire. Okay guys, the hole is 5/16 to drill out. Okay, you put that in, she fits. So what we're going to do now, we're going to poke this wire up from the bottom, and we'll get the wire to come through up the top there. We thread that down on the way it goes. So put 1 O-ring on. By threading that down, it allows us to fix the fuel hose on. So put that on the tyre wire, and we take that down. Okay, put on, and pull the wire back out now. Put our O-ring on. Carefully don't knock that plug back into the tank. Put the nut on, tighten the nut up. Alright, I'm going to try and mount this tank up. Now I need these. So these are to mount the fuel tank. That should look okay. Probably be a good idea, guys, if you put one of these on the outside of your van, cover it with some sort of shade cloth, just something to protect it from the sun, because I reckon the sun will make that go brittle after a bit of time. Okay guys, the fuel tank's on. Okay guys, there's the hose, 1 clamp. Push it in far as you can get it, guys, and tighten him up. guys, it's bled through. Okay, she's all bled through. I'll just tidy this up. Okay guys, there's the finished back of the van. I'll put a cover on the tank. I've done this for two reasons. One, to protect the tank from the sun, because the sun will end up ruining the plastic. And also, I've done this with the lid. Now, the lid is Velcro strap on, alright, so when I want to fill it up, now I've done that. Now in the cap it's got like a hole. I was worried when it rains, this being outside, I was worried water getting in the tank. I was going to put a screw in there, and I thought when I go to use the heater I just unscrew the tank to so the sides of the tank don't suck in. You just got to let a bit of air in there, I guess. There's always that chance you'll forget to undo it when you want to use it, and you'll forget to do it up. Well, I'll forget anyway, so that's the reason I'd rather do this. So what I did, I just used this piece of, this is actually an old wheel cover. I just cut it up and just made a bit of a cover, put that on it, put the Velcro around it, and it's fine to use as it is. Put your fuel in it, just forget about it. Of course, when I check for fuel, I just take the cover off, take the lid off, and simply just check for fuel. I'm coming up to now wiring my heater. I've got my wire. This is 6mm twin. I pretty much got to go from here. My battery come along here, across there to 3/4 of the way across. So it'll come up here into my fuse box. Here comes the cable. I'm pretty much just cutting the size of the cable, guys. Always go a little bit longer than what you think. That's probably enough what I need. Okay, we'll cut the earth off, and I'll cut the power off. So instead of me using this fuse holder, I'll just take this fuse out and I'll actually put it in my fuse box up in the caravan and use the same fuse. So it's 15 amps. When you do your joins, guys, solder them for a good connection. You won't have any troubles later on. And guys, we run split tubing right along the whole length of the cable. And finally goes up inside the van. Okay guys, I put a bit of silicone around that. Guys, I don't have any cable clamps, or I don't have any clips for the cable, so I'm just going to make my own. Just got a cable tie, I put a screw through it. I'll just put my cable tie there. Okay guys, the earth I'm just going to connect into my DC charger. The earth on the charger in the van. That's the earth guys, and my DC charger. Okay, the earth's connected on the heater. Now I've got to do the positive, which is in the fuse box. Okay guys, there she is, connected into the fuse box. All leaves me now is to put the fuse in. It ain't in there. I'm gonna have to ride on the so that goes on like that. I'm gonna have to ride here 15 amp. Okay, here we have a 15, and that should power it up. Fuse is in. Anyway, that's all done. Alright, let's turn it on. Okay, I've just turned it on. She's fired up guys. We have combustion. They take a little bit to go. They probably take, yeah, they take around 3 to 5 minutes to get to operating temperature. But now she's going. She's going now guys. Okay guys, there we have the finished product. I put my partition wall in along here just to make sure you have a bit of clearance either side of your heater guys. You probably need at least 150 mil clearance either side. Make sure the air intake can breathe. Okay, and that is it. That is on high at the moment. I've got my controller up here on the wall against the fridge, and I close the bed down, and there we have it. That's on high. Works very well guys, really well. And guys, that is a low. It's very quiet when it's on low. Very quiet guys, really quiet. They hardly make any noise. You hear the ticking sound from the pump. But guys, you got to think a 12 volt fan in the summer would make more noise than what this thing would. I don't generally have this running while sleeping. I just generally heat the van up, get it really hot, then just switch it off and then turn it back on in the morning if it gets cold. I'm really wrapped with this heater guys. I'm really impressed. It is overkill, I must admit. A 5 kilowatt for a 17-foot van is overkill, but worst comes to worst, you can always open your windows in the cold, or you just turn it down. But before you shut it off guys, just run it on a high for about 10 minutes, just so it doesn't soot up in the burning chamber. What a pearler, she's really good. Excellent. Take you back outside on this horrible gloomy day. Besides the rain on the roof, you can hear the heater going, but that's flat out guys. That's going flat straight. Yeah, to go back over the installation guys. Okay guys, make sure you have plenty of clearance up here around this exhaust, because that exhaust burns at around 160 degrees Celsius. It burns very hot. Make sure you tie the fuel line, your wires away from the exhaust. Have the exhaust going one way and have your air intake going the other way. So it's taking in clean air, it's not taking in the exhaust. So don't have the exhaust and the air intake coming out together. When you put your exhaust in, at the end of the exhaust, I had mine horizontal. So there's a drain hole here. Any condensation build up in the muffler there, it just drips out this little hole. Oh, I hope you can see that. I'm not going to touch it because it's hot. Anyway, I fixed that. So now it's actually vertical. Make sure the fuel pump, now you can either mount it 45 degrees up to vertical. Just don't mount it horizontal, as you must have it 45 degrees, or you can have it up to vertical. So say 45 degrees up to 90 degrees is fine. Okay. And there's me cable all tucked in under the van up there. It's all done. It's all going. Also guys, it's important, do not run the pump dry for too long. Make sure you suck the fuel through, or just gravity feed it if you can. When you connect the pump, just do what I did, fill the tank with diesel, gravity feed your fuel down to the pump. You can even take it off here and get your fuel up to the pump. So your pump is not going to be running dry for too long for the first time you fire it up, because your pump, you might have to run it a few times to get it to fire, but as long as your pump is lubricated with diesel, guys, these rely on diesel to lubricate it. It took me 2 times to fire this up. From the pump, I have about 2 meters of fuel line up to the heater. And remember guys, if you're going to remote areas, if you're in dusty conditions, just get yourself like a proper fuel filter, a motorbike fuel filter, something that's going to filter the air. But otherwise, just do what I did, put a bit of fly screen on. Just get some fine fly screen mesh and put it over the air intake, just to keep the insects out. And it is very, very warm in here. Whew. Guys, if you've had this running on low for a fair while, it's a good idea just to give it a run flat out for about 10 to 15 minutes before you actually switch it off, to just to burn the soot out, any build-up soot from burning on low, and just gives it a chance to burn out, clean it out. Okay, now we shut it down. It'll go through a shutdown process. Okay, I've turned it off. It shuts down now. It'll take a few minutes to shut down properly. It goes through like a bit of a stage and it shuts down. It's quite important they do shut down, just so it doesn't damage the ECU on the unit, which they are built with a ECU, like everything these days. Okay guys, that's the install all finished for this heater. She's still shutting down. Anyway, alright guys, I'm sorry this has been such a long video. I hope you enjoyed this video. These cheap diesel heaters, guys, they're really, really good. I'm really impressed. Like, yeah, I must say I'm impressed with it for what it cost. For below 200 bucks, I must say, yeah, it's awesome. It's really, really awesome. I wish I bought it earlier. I think because of the cost is why I bought it. I thought I'd risk it, and yeah. And guys, I don't regret it one little bit, so I recommend. I'll leave a link below in the description on where I bought this heater from. I don't know the brand, it's just a no-name brand diesel heater. So yeah guys, if you get one, good luck with installation. Just follow this video, you can't go wrong. And guys, installation probably should take you around 5 to 6 hours, depending on an average installation. Took me around 10 the time I filmed this, and I had to build the bracket on the back of the van for the fuel tank. Just my situation. Took about 10 hours for me, but that was filming this video, guys. So it'd probably take you around 5 hours, 5-6 hours, all depending on how easy your situation is and how good of a job you do. Just remember, keep the air intake clear and keep the exhaust clear, guys, and it'll burn clean. and yeah, that's what you mainly got to worry about. There's not many moving parts in these things, so not much can go wrong with them when things do go wrong. A lot of people putting them in, when they have dramas, they're usually from installation errors. You know, not putting the pump on the 45 degree. Don't put it horizontal, because it's not going to allow the pump to get lubricated when the piston's going up and down in the pump. It just, yeah, having it vertical, or you can have it on a 45. Alright guys, I hope this video helps you somehow. Subscribe if you like it guys, and thanks for watching. Bye.